talk to you a little bit about LifeSync, which is our version of WorkSync. And what it is a kind of a campus-based community data management system. So we use it in a couple of different formats. One, for organization management. So within your organization, you can use it as several different tools, functions to help manage the organization. And then on a community level, it helps with communication. So letting everyone know what everyone's doing so it's siloed, so every student kind of knows what's going on with campus life. Kind of give you some background. So we started formatting it to the back end in like the late summer quarter of 2016. Then in 2015, we rolled it out only to student leaders. So student leaders were able to format their page on the back end, kind of play around with it, figuring out how we want to set it up. So this winter quarter, we are waiting on IT to finish up the API coding. Because essentially what API coding is, it's going to pull information directly from Colleague, which is our student information system, and populate it into WorkSync. That way, specific groups of individuals or students will be populated into specific groups. So all undergraduate students would be going to the undergraduate portal. All DC students go to the DC portal. And then from there, quarter classes. And then other kind of athletes will have their own portal. So we're waiting to do the big campus-wide launch until IT finishes that, but hopefully it'll be done by the end of the quarter. So it'll be launched campus-wide either late this quarter or very early spring quarter. So be on the lookout for that. There'll be tons of giveaways and stuff like that. So if you guys could help that movement when it launches, that would be awesome. So right now it's how to get to LifeSync. Sorry, again, can't see. Just go to your main Life University website, and it's actually right under Campus Life. There's a direct link to LifeSync. It's a single sign-on system. So whatever your Life University username and password is, that's what it's going to be for LifeSync. So when you change your university password, it changes on LifeSync. So we don't have the capability, we as in Student Services or LifeSync, to change your password. That all has to be done through IT. Now, if I spell my name wrong, y'all are going to have to see that, because I can't. Hopefully I typed that in right. Good, yeah. Okay, awesome. Is that never? Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is what basically your page is going to look like. Mine looks different because I'm a part of different portals than y'all are. So everyone's page is populated based on what their membership is in different portals. So look at y'all's beautiful faces there. Okay. So there's a couple main features I just wanted to explain. So this is a promotion banner. Up to 3 events can be put on the promotion banner. So any organization, student organization that is 5-star or Campus Life program, which is you guys, you can promote not meetings but specific larger events. So if y'all are having a big recruiting event or anything like that, you can put that on there. So all you have to do is just email me and I'll walk you through the process on how to do that. So that's that, and then we have upcoming events, and again, depending on what portals you're subscribed to, these events are going to differ. So you see a lot of student success stuff on there, and some organization stuff for me. In the middle is your, kind of think of a Facebook feed. Again, this is going to populate depending on what portals you're a part of, so never reference, it's the third thing down on your feed, because everyone's feed is going to be different depending on what they're part of. So you can do quarter class elections. Y'all can do your elections on here too. There's a capability to do polls and surveys. So y'all can all do that electronically through here. It's super easy. On this side, you have the featured. So these are all Campus Life programs. If you guys would like to be a featured portal, let me know you have that capability since you are a Campus Life program. So these are all student-centered. Because this page, we really want LifeSync to be for current students. Right now, we've got a lot of things out there for prospective students, a lot of things out there for alumni, but not a lot for current students. So we want this site to be all yours. So the featured sites for you guys will go up here. So if Student Ambassadors wants to do that, just email me and I can put you on there. And then just like bookmarks, links that students usually use are on there. Now this was provided by students to tell me what links they wanted. If you have additional suggestions for links, we can also put that up there as well. So your organization tab, this is when you scroll through and some quarter classes are still populating because student council is working to get executive board members for every quarter class because right now they don't exist. So they are working hard, they're almost there. So if you guys are in these quarters and know of anybody who's a great leader and would like to serve, they are also looking for quarter class presidents in these areas in order to populate those pages. But if you keep on scrolling down, there's all student organizations and some campus departments. So some campus departments also have pages on here. Most of them are student services based, again, because this is the main student site. So Safe Space, which is our ally training, and then all sorts of great things. We just updated the Student Success Center. That was for Dr. Rubin. Anyway, so all of this stuff is on here. So say I am really interested, I always use CAB as a guinea pig because I can click on them. So say you're really interested in the campus activities board. You're like, I want to know a little bit more about that. So you can click on that organization. You see the leaders of the organization here. And say you scroll through and you're like, gee, I didn't know that Kevin was on CAB. And I want to send him an email to ask him a little bit more about it. So you can do it that way, and it's a direct link, so you can email him. And this is whatever information you put in. So everyone's profile is up here, and you can click on it and change your settings. So whatever you put on your profile is what pops up. So just remember that when you're kind of going through stuff. So, and then you can also look at people, and depending on your settings, you can see different things. So if I wasn't a member of this group, I wouldn't be able to scroll through and see everybody who's on there. But you'll have this button. I don't have it because I'm an administrator, but you'll have a button over here that says Join Organization, and then you can click Can Join. Depending on the options of membership within that organization, you can set up join functions. So for you guys, it's at application process. So what you can do on here is you can have the join button, but it'll pop up and say, this organization is blah, 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 whatever you want to say. This application, you must have a username or you must have a password to access the site. And you can give everyone a password, so the ambassadors have a password in order to join as a member. Or you can say you can only join by request only. So someone can request to join and the administrators actually have to accept them before they become a member of the organization. So any administrator would be able to, of your site would be able to accept them for membership. So that's that. Let me go back to the CAB homepage just to show you how to do that. Over here is the feed. So everyone is going to be able to see this profile. So when you go in and you edit your profile and you manage it, this is what everybody sees because there is an app, so they can look up student ambassadors and they'll see this, so they can read a little bit more about it. If you guys have a website, who your advisor is, when you meet, if that's public information, all of that will be accessible on the app. And then again, the feed is also accessible on the app, so anything upcoming that you wanted to showcase, you can put on the feed. So any upcoming events you can put on here, or any notes, announcements, or anything like that you can put on here. Now with feed and events, you can select who can see those. So if it's an event that you only want, a meeting that you only want the executive board to attend, you can, when you're setting up the event, you'll select certain groups and executive board members are the only ones. So it'll only pop up on those executive board feeds to RSVP to that yes, no, maybe. So you can market it publicly, so it goes out on anyone. They don't even have to have a username and password can see it. Or you can do Life University, so you have to have a username and password. You can do specific to student ambassadors, So in order to see it, you have to be a member of the organization or specific groups within the ambassadors. Say you have a new member class, and the training is only for new members, so you don't want to confuse anybody, and so you can just send it to your new members. So I'll show you how to set up those groups. So you're going into people, and if you're an administrator, so whoever's the administrator of the page can select their permissions, and I'll show you how to do that. But you go to people, and then you go to click all people, and then you can create groups. And then once you create a group, say new member, potential members, if you want that to be an option, executive board members, you set up the group here by just clicking create a group, type in the group, click enter, and then once you have that group, you can actually invite people to that specific group. Does that make sense? So anyone who's in the system, you can invite them to the group. Once you have the groups, that's when you can create an event for specific groups or for the entire organization. So these are events that are, can't even see right here, there. So these are all CAB events, things that are associated with them. So you want to click create an event. The way this works is once you submit it, it goes to Jenna Smith, and she's the one who actually books it in our FS Direct, which is our reservation system. So if you want to reserve a room or a location on campus with setup, etc., you can do that through here, and Jenna will put it into FS Direct for you, so you won't have to go to two different places. Then once it's approved in FS Direct, and it's approved in the LifeSync calendar, so it should pop up as an event.
Can you clarify, because they use the president or the president's dining room, we still have to do that directly through FS Direct, not through this?
No, you can use it. You can request the president's dining room. What Jenna will do is put in the president's dining room in the FS Direct and wait for Nita to approve it.
Okay.
And once Nita approves it, then she'll approve this event.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could just make meetings like an event.
Yeah, and you can do reoccurring. So you can fill out all this information, time, date, location, and then reoccurring. If you want it every Thursday or every other Thursday, that's when you can collect. I don't even know if I'm clicking on the right thing. Okay. So blind right now. So yeah, so you can do that. So it's really easy to click that up or to make that happen. Then, sorry,
I was just gonna say, how would we know? I know that there's times when we have been approved, but then we get overrided due to this location.
Yep.
Would that come through here? Because through
Yes.
FS Direct, it's not come through that way. It's gonna be very confusing.
So when you get overrided, does Nita contact you directly?
Sometimes it's NITA, sometimes it's enrollment. I mean, it depends on what the event is.
Okay, so it's gonna, until we merge reservation systems, which is kind of on the table,
Gotcha.
it'll happen the exact same way that's happening now.
Perfect.
So they'll see it in FS Direct. They won't know to go through LifeSync. So whoever contacted you through FS Direct, they're going to do the exact same
Okay.
thing.
But we will have a confirmation on the LifeSync side that says you have this room, your confirmation number, so that
Yep.
we can at least rely on that.
Right, and then, so when you're approved through here, and say Nita cancels it or something, if Jenna's not in that process, if Jenna doesn't get notified, then you'll need to manually change it on here, because that's the way but if Jenna's notified, she can change it and update it. So update the event, so everyone who's a member of that or who has RSVP to that meeting or subscribed to your calendar will know that the meeting has either been canceled or changed. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Y'all are a little bit different just because other people contact you other than Jenna. All other student organizations have to go through Jenna.
Okay.
So you can upload a picture. This is the big thing I stress, that if it's an event that it's like a recruiting event or open to all students, make sure you have a picture, because they'll show you what the calendar looks like. And when you have a picture, it's way more appealing for a student to click on to see what that is, other than just the calendar icon. This is the function that I was talking to you about. I think it is, as I can see it. This tells you if you need RSVPs, you can. If you want to say you want to have dietary restrictions, you can create a form. Let me go up. I'll show you that in a second. But you can create a form that says, please list dietary restrictions or t-shirt size. So you can do a pre-event form. So anyone who is saying they're going to that event, you can get all of that information from them. Also, this is where I was talking about that you can either select public, Life University, so everyone can see it if it's a kind of a recruitment event, or if you just want student ambassadors to see it, or if you want specific groups within student ambassadors to see it. That's where you would do that one.
So JJ, we have a closed group from student ambassadors, obviously, just the people that are 20-something people.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have a closed group as far as that, we can still use this selection for publicly allowing all the feed to go through to everybody else.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, because a lot of organizations are like that. So we have like ADU and other organizations that have New Omega that have specifications. Not everyone can join, but they do have recruitment events.
So we can do both sides.
Yep.
Of it. Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. So down here, if you had created any forms, that's where you can collect this pre-event form or post-event form, or reflection, learning outcomes. That's kind of student affairs-y on our side. But so say you had this recruitment event and you wanted to know how people responded. You could always do a post-event survey and say, hey, was this helpful? Are you interested in joining? Do you need an application? Blah, 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 whatever questions you want to ask. You can either ask that to there. So anyone who went or was checked in at that event would receive an email with that form to fill out or that survey to fill out.
Where does the form come back to?
The form comes back to this site. So I'll show you where.
It's a private response.
Yes, so and only administrators would have, so your organization's administrators would have access
So
to it.
applications, could we do applications on
Yep,
it? Okay.
I'll show you how to do those too. So all that's there, you click submit, and then you have a nice pretty event. If you do have reservation requests, like setup requests, when you click create an event, it'll also prompt you to say, do you have setup requests? And if you click yes, it'll prompt you with those question and answers for that. But just for lack of time, they want to go through that. Okay, so files. This is a great place. So CAB has, their transition files. So this happens so many times in student organizations that the president, our coordinator, Brittany is amazing. So of course she's also going to do an amazing job in transitioning. But sometimes that doesn't happen, and whatever information they had left with them, this is a great way to solve that problem. You keep all org information in this site. So anyone you can set permissions on here. So say the CAB exec docs. If you are not listed as a CAB exec, you don't even see that file. So you can restrict it to like treasurer only, vice president only. So you can restrict files, or you can have files public. So say you just wanted to have some open files about the ambassadors and you wanted anyone to be able to look and see those documents, you could push those on there. Or if you wanted to make it exclusive to members, so like maybe your manual, you can put that on there too. Does that make sense? I'm not going to go through it, it's really easy. You just upload either the file or the doc and then set the permissions and you can see it. Forms. This is where you can create, so the umbrellas, you're going to see this because those are any campus life program or student organization are going to need these forms. So those are going to be on there. The umbrella means that essentially I put it on there, so you can't really make those go away, but it's there. So you won't see this post-event report because that's specific to CAB. But what you guys can do is you can make, go to my clicking on it. Okay. If you go to create a form, this is where you can create the application. If you've ever created a form on Google Docs, it's like pretty much the exact same thing. So you can create the form. The cool thing about this is if you were doing an application, so you're on the first page, you do the directions, any qualifications for membership, blah, 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 blah. And then you add a question. And say your first question is trying to get contact information. All you have to do is click that button and it'll automatically collect that information because the student is in the database already. So you already get that information if they're logged on. So then you type and then you can click submit, done. I'm not going to do this. But anyway, and then you add questions. Again, it's the same thing. You click like the element if you want it to be a single line text, or if you want them to like do a paragraph response, you can do that here. Phone number, email address, any of that stuff. But then you also can do checkboxes. If it is a survey, you can do a Likert scale and automatically populates that Likert scale for you. So like strongly disagree, whatever. So if you're doing a post-event survey, that's really helpful. And the other thing that's helpful too is we have this two things. Upload, so if you wanted to get them, say it's an application and they needed to upload like a picture and a resume, I don't know. They can upload those things here. You can click the upload button and it forces them to upload something before they submit it. Or you can do terms and conditions. So maybe it's a waiver or a statement that all ambassadors have to sign, saying that they either a confidentiality agreement or agree to uphold the standards of the ambassadors. You can click that terms and conditions, list them, and then it's an I agree button. So they click it, I agree, and so you have that on file. So pretty much any paperwork that you're using now can all be submitted electronically. All you have to do is transition it to electronic forms. So it's all nice and neat. There's no more lost paperwork. You can have reviewers. So you can so once it was submitted, it would say like add reviewer. So maybe the president needs to sign off on it, or the coordinator needs to sign off on it, but then your advisor needs to sign off on it. Once the coordinator signed off on it, then it routes to the advisor, then the advisor can sign off on it. So again, no passing paperwork. The paper trail is all electronic. You can see exactly time, date stamped on when they signed it or when they approved it. So that's really helpful. I kind of just wanted to give you guys an overview. So if you guys have any questions, or if you're going through this and you decide, hey, these are some things that we want to do, JJ, can you help us through it? I'll come back and I'll do it with you and actually create those forms with you and walk you through. But I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of what the system can do. And then that way you guys as a group can start brainstorming on how you guys want to use it to the optimal performance of the.
JJ, on that, it's a date and time. Is that a date and time stamp of when it's actually completed, for example? Or
So
else like
it automatically does a date and time on the terms and conditions, and you can a date and time of the submission. When a date and time, a lot of that is a formatting. So if you're asking a question that it needs to be a date, you can have that date button. So they have to submit it in a certain format, and time they have to submit it in a certain format. Their answer in a certain format. The reason why that's important, say it's a birthday. Any forms can be exported into an Excel or a PDF. If it's exported into an Excel, you can do a data sort for birthdays, and because everybody's entered it in the same way, because it's mandated, it's a really easy sort to see who's of age, who's not, that kind of thing. So it just helps in the data management side on the back end. Any other questions with forms?
I do.
Yeah.
I was trying to upload videos and the files. Is there a way to do that? Because it wouldn't let me.
Yeah. So the videos actually down here. Is that it?
Yep.
They say videos. Okay. Yeah. So you have to go to more for videos, because videos and photos it's a little bit more data. So to upload that, you have to upload it in these sections.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So news. Before we go to more, news is say. Life University did something really, really cool, and you want to make sure all of our students know about it. You can post that news feature and then post it so it goes on the feed. So this is healthy vendors and fairs. But anything you can do, you can kind of post on the feed so it goes on people's feeds. So that's what I recommend, that you have a button. You have two options for membership and the student ambassadors. One, because you probably have a lot of people that want to see a little bit more about you guys without actually being a member. So I suggest that when you're setting up your membership, everyone can be a member, or a supporter, or you label them of like a potential member or something. So when you post something, they see it, they can kind of subscribe to your stuff. But then you set up an active member group within the people. So those are your active ambassadors. And maybe even in your home button that you not just list just your executive board members, but then fill a position, you actually list everyone who's an actual ambassador, and you can put their title underneath it too. So that might help. These are just suggestions, because I do think I have a lot of people that are interested in the ambassadors, just don't know a whole lot about it. So that's an option for you guys. You can think about it. I mean, you absolutely don't have to. So photos, again, you can upload any type of photos that you want. That way, 5 years from now, if you want to see, kind of go back through the photo album, if you're about to have a reunion, you can pull those things. It'll be nice just to have it all in one place that you don't have to track everybody down for photos. So
can other people post photos for us? So for example, marketing that has historical stuff, or do they have to send it to us for us to upload it?
you would either have to give them permissions to your page. Currently, marketing doesn't have an administrative approval for being able to see all pages, and part of that is kind of purpose stuff.
Sure.
But you can give them
Permission to be on there. Okay.
So if Lindsay is your go-to, then you can give Lindsay administrative privileges in your page.
And is there a way we can do something like you were saying historically? Because one of the things that Dr. Riekman wants us to go back to the beginning, which we have already lost a lot of data. So what little we do have, we want to figure out how to get on here. So we do have that history.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly how to do that.
Yeah. You could potentially do this. So from here forward, everything's going to be logged. So anyone who's a member, you'll always be a member. So 10 years from now, they can say, who was a member of Fall 17 and data sort and find it on our back end.
Go back when we.
That's what I'm thinking is figuring out if since they've graduated.
They'd still be in colleague. We get access.
But I don't know if they have a username. I don't know if they'd shut that off. That's a kind of an IT question. If they're not, if they still have access, you absolutely can, because when you go to fill a position, you set their term date, and you would just set their term date. I can't see this, but to whatever year they were in.
Okay, I gotcha. So the start point.
Yeah, so you could do that, and you could backfill positions. You might not want to backfill every ambassador, maybe just executives, but you can do that way. The other way we can do it, and that would just make it super easy so I have this little data browser up here. I can kind of essentially run whatever reports I want to. Y'all don't have that capability, but you could ask me to pull that report for you, and I can send it. And then whatever data you put in is in.
Who is the IT contact for LifeSync this month?
Well, right now it's Thornton, but then he has outsourced that to staff. Yeah. So you can always just email me or email Thornton, copy me, and say this is what we're trying to do. Can we do this? I know alumni is also interested in that too. That's why we're trying to get all quarter classes in here. So if alumni wants to have a reunion, it's super easy to pull that information. And then also be able to tell who's leading that organization. The other thing you could do is upload it into a file. It won't be as easy, but the information you do have, you can upload it into a file in here and make it private to executive board members only. It would be a manual search at that point if you want to do a reunion, but at least you know the information's on a shared server and it's not going to be lost anywhere.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, you guys have to go. Anyway, just real quick, there's also service opportunities too. So we're in the
Just wanted to say bye before I leave to Santa Fe, New Mexico. So,
Love you,
thank you very much, everybody.
Love you, brother. Kill it.
That's right.
Have fun. Anyway, so there's service opportunities. It's being populated now. So if you'll go, we only have 2 right now, but probably by spring quarter, all of our community partners in the local area will be on here. So you can click them, see a little bit more about their partnership with us, and any volunteer opportunities they have too. So that's something that you guys can also look into as well. So there's a lot of features I didn't get to, but hopefully that's a good place to start.